Live streaming it up. Trying to find where my video's at. Trying to find where my video's at. There it is. Yeah. There's my beautiful face. Live streaming it up. There we go. Guess I can unmute that otherwise. Here we go. What's up, everybody? Putting on live chat. How is everybody doing today? Show me the video. Yeah. There we go. Can't share it if I can't find the video. There we go. Perfect. What's up, Austin Punk? You can't hang out today? That's fine. Appreciate you at least commenting on it. Keith Johnson says, good luck this week against Jeff. I appreciate that. And why is the NXT show moved to Friday instead of Saturday? I know that they're doing TakeOver Friday and the Hall of Fame Saturday. Why they don't switch that around, I'm not sure. It's going to be a cluster next year because SmackDown will be on Friday. But other than that, can't really answer that. I think it would make more sense to have the Hall of Fame Friday and then get into the action Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Like I said, next year it's going to be a complete cluster. It'll probably be SmackDown, TakeOver, WrestleMania, Raw. I don't know what they're going to do. They might do TakeOver, SmackDown, Hall of Fame, WrestleMania. I don't know yet. It's going to be a complete cluster. What up, Converse Craig? Thank you. Appreciate that. TakeOver Dallas was on a Friday, I do believe, AC. I do believe it was on a Friday. It was a good show, too. And the G1 Supercards on Saturday. Yeah, so they probably want to... the Hall of Fame is typically something, unless you're there, you watch later. I mean, sometimes you may just watch the Hall of Fame just to see the inductions, but I typically don't watch that live. Yeah, Craig, those questions were tough in the match that we had. They were pretty tough. I do want to say, before I get into the rest of the comments, I don't know if I'm going to be doing a live stream next weekend because of all the craziness, and plus you'll see me Thursday for the Iron Man match, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, so check that out. Also, I want to do a quick plug, the Wheel of Pensen. The Wheel of Pensen, baby. Wheel of Pensen! $20 super chat. Get a spin of the wheel. I'll sing, I'll dance, I'll look like an idiot. Promote that all show. Anyway, back to your comments. What am I looking for most on this TakeOver show? The whole show looks incredible. Gargano and Cole is going to be fantastic. AC. Chris Ross! Holy crap, Chris Ross is here. He's alive. It's incredible. TakeOver Dallas was on Friday. You were there. You were there because I was the one in Dallas. I remember that reaction video. Chris Ross is a good dude. That's where I kind of stole the wheel concept from. I totally ripping you off, Chris, because you haven't been on a live stream in forever, because I thought you were dead. Or the man flu, or whatever you had. But, yeah, TakeOver was on Friday, so it's going to be on Friday again this year. It won't be on Friday next year, because you'll have SmackDown. But, like I said, that's going to be a complete cluster of a week. Let's see here. Ratneck, thoughts on WWE allegedly blocking out Tampa Bay area from independent shows during WrestleMania 36? You know, honestly, I don't blame them because not everybody's going to have the money to go to WrestleMania. So for them to, if you spend more money going to the independent shows, that means less money for them. It makes sense. It also makes sense that they want WrestleMania to be the sole focus, and they don't want people burnt out on wrestling by the time they get to WrestleMania, because then the crowd will be dead. It makes sense. I get it. And quite frankly, AEW has the right strategy. They said they won't run shows during WrestleMania weekend because that's the WWE's. That's smart. Right? Cody Rhodes is a smart dude. So I don't blame him at all for that. Timothy Phillips. Hey, Greg, how's it going? Thought I would jump on here and say hello before the game starts. My team plays for a spot in the Final Four. Oh, who you got? Who you got, Timothy? You got Kentucky, you got Auburn, who you got? Or one of the other teams. I don't follow college basketball at all because I'm a Notre Dame fan, and Notre Dame men's basketball is terrible and has been for as long as I've been alive. What's up, Zach? How you doing? Keith Johnson says, War Raiders versus Alistair and Ricochet will be babyface against babyface. And you wish they'd turn the Street Profits heel. I wish they'd give the Street Profits a better push. I mean, they're ridiculously athletic. And they're an entertaining team, so. But you're a Duke fan, okay. I actually have Duke losing to Kentucky in the finals. I only filled out one bracket. Just because I never do well with them. I've only actually picked the winner once in the last, 15 years that I've done it, so I'm clearly not that great for college basketball. AC says AB and Ricochet for champs. Do they have a tag team title match tomorrow night on Raw? Did I read that right? I find that hard to believe, that they have an NXT tag team title shot and a Raw tag team title shot in the same week. But I don't know. Favorite WCW Nitro moment? Clearly Chucky and Rick Steiner. Obviously not. Favorite WCW Nitro moment? There's been some. Was the Bret Hart promo on El Dandy, was that Nitro or was that Thunder? Regardless of what it was, that was fantastic. Bret Hart's sarcastic Bret Hart is ridiculously incredible, and it's a shame we didn't get more of that. Mike Nixon, how's it going, Greg? I want to wish you luck in your big Iron Man match with Jeff. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. 386 days as of today, my title reign. Can you believe that? I mean, I'll make it to 390 before I face Jeff, so hopefully I'll be able to say 391. But that's not a guarantee. If you haven't seen the build-up video, the hype video for it, it's on this channel. Check it out after you watch the live stream. I actually put that together. And I was trying to think the most WWE way to put that promo together to make it look like it wasn't something ridiculous. And I think it's actually some of the best work I've put out, personally. Not to toot my own horn, but toot, quote, AA, Arn Anderson. Keith Johnson, yes, against the Revival. Why are they giving them 2 title shots in the same week? Not that, I like Aleister Black and Ricochet, don't get me wrong, but why are they giving them a Raw Tag Team title shot and an NXT Tag Team title shot? Because they're not going to win both. There's going to be something screwy on Raw, I bet. And I don't think they'll win either one of them, honestly. Johnny Gargano is the new Tommy Dreamer. That's an interesting comparison. You'll have to explain that one to me. I know Johnny Gargano is like the heart of NXT, like Tommy Dreamer was the heart of ECW. Maybe that's what you're going for. As far as wrestling styles, they're completely different. Timothy Phelps. If it makes it, I will have 2 of the Final Fours correct for mine. Well, there you go. AC, no wonder the Revival wants to head south to Florida. Yeah. I mean, those rumors are still out there. I think they're past the point of making it before Double or Nothing. I think their 90 days would expire in June, so that'd be after the May event. Chris Cahill, was the AJ signing a must for WWE because of AEW, and how much was AJ wanting to re-sign with them? I mean, AJ's pretty well set. You figure he's been wrestling for, 20 years now? Which is insane to think about. But probably a little over 20, actually. I see you, Cindy. Appreciate you showing up in the chat. Long live the PA sensation. Exactly. Like I said, 386 days with that title reign. Back to Chris. I don't think AJ is going to have... Not that he's going to have much more time in WWE, but he knows, his career will be ending in a few years' time. Granted, he can still go as well as he could 10, 15 years ago, but I mean, he's got a family to provide for, and WWE is where the money is at the moment. So, I mean, he re-signed, and can you really complain about how AJ's doing? He's been booked very well his entire time there. Jinder Maharaja Maharaja says, the Undisputed Era will end up like the Nexus. I think they've been far more successful than the Nexus ever were. The Nexus was fantastic for the first 2 months of their existence. And then as soon as Cena beat them at SummerSlam 2010, they were pretty much dead in the water. There was nothing for them. Trevor Taylor, you'll be at Raw tomorrow. Have fun. It's the Go Home Raw. You'll be seeing Batista and Brock Lesnar there. So, appreciate that way you can. Chase Games say, are we going to get you versus Jeff Meacham at Mania instead of no DQ? Hey, if they want to move the Iron Man match to like the WrestleMania pre-show, I'll take that all day. Can you imagine how many freaking eyes would be on a wrestling trivia show for a WrestleMania pre-show if that aired on the network? I'd be totally cool with that. Even if I lost, they'd get the exposure. I don't care. AC saying, being a Floridian myself, Jacksonville is very this time of year. Very, okay. Hell, I've been there the last month for my brother's birthday. Florida's, I mean, when I was in Florida, and this was a couple months ago, it was pretty cold there. It was like 50-some degrees, which is cold for Florida. I mean, it was really chilly. Report Card Radio, do you think we will ever get Aaron Riff's dream match of Lesnar versus Batista? I'm surprised they've never done that. And if they have Batista and Lesnar around at SummerSlam, they should do it then, even if there's no title on the line. Because Batista isn't really set to a brand. He's just kind of facing Triple H. Chase Games, especially if it's supposed to be for 12 hours, yeah. I mean, the Iron Man match is an hour by itself. As long as there's no ties and it goes, and it's like WrestleMania 12, which I believe the anniversary of that was like 23 years ago today. Funny enough. Chris Cahill, after his match with Orton and Seth and Roman, the last two big matches for AJ. And his best feud had to be against Cena. I didn't mind his Joe feud. It was kind of weird. And his feud with Daniel Bryan produced some good matches, too. I think him and Orton will have, like, one of the... I don't know if it'll be a show-stealing match, but it'll be a good match. Oh, Chris. There we go. Spinning that wheel. First super chat of the day. What's a super chat? Chris, I hope you know that, unlike your channel, I can't say whatever I want because this is not my channel. So, I will spin the wheel. Man, if you win a T-shirt, I'm gonna have to pay international shipping fees for it. All right. But to recap, what's on the wheel? We got a T-shirt. One of my T-shirts from Pro Wrestling Tees. Karaoke. I can do a wrestler's entrance, a dance break. Truth time, which is you ask a question and I answer it. I have to answer it truthfully. It's got to be within reason, of course. What else I got? Road stories. I'll tell you a story about my indie wrestling time. And, of course, there's the illustrious bankrupt, which, Chris, if you hit that, then you're just kind of screwed. So let's go. What does Chris Ross, dead and old, of the Reaction Room get? You're getting an entrance, brother. I'm doing a wrestler's entrance for you. All right. Let me pull up the wrestler's entrances that I got. And, Rift, I'm going to tell you right now, you'll probably want to delete this because this stream because I don't want you to get copyright issues. I'll just tell you that right now. Which one should I do? All right. I will move the wheel for the time being. And I will do my best. Let's see. Everybody loves this guy. I'm going to do Baron Corbin's entrance. See how I do with that one. So here we go. I gotta get up and I gotta move this somehow, see how that looks. I have to physically get up and do this entrance. So don't get dizzy. Wolfman! Why is a raven like a writing desk? Because they're both flat? I don't know. Woken Voices, what's going on, Greg? Not a whole lot. Well, I have a limited set, Chris. Do you have a better entrance that I could do? Tell you what. I'll let you pick. I got Alex Wright at WCW. I got Batista. I got Demon Balor. I got Ziggler. I got Mandy Rose. Shane O'Mac. Oh, you choose Baron Corbin. Okay. All right. Baron Corbin it is. So here we go. Corbin. Chris, you want me to read them again? Hold on. Give me a minute. Alright, let's see. Going back to... Hold on, let me fix this first. Fix it back so you can see me sitting. That's what everybody wants to see, me sitting on my ass. The entrances I have are... Alex Wright of WCW. I got Baron Corbin, which I just did. Batista, Demon Finn Balor, Dolph Ziggler, Johnny Gargano, Mandy Rose, Shane McMahon, Shayna Baszler, Shinsuke Nakamura, the Bella Twins, the Iconics, The Undertaker, Triple H, Undisputed Era, and Velveteen Dream. So, appreciate it. Appreciate everybody who joined just right here in time to watch me do an entrance. Hey, if you want another entrance, you got to spin the wheel 10 cents. There's actually 8 entrance spots on here, so it's the most of any of them. It's the most popular one out of any of them. Let's fix that so you can see that a little better. Maybe. All right. Wolfman, I don't know if you ever answered that question. Mud Pies. Greg Cherry is my real dad. Well, I'm going to have to explain that to my wife, I guess. Chase Games. I actually like Baron Corbin, to be honest. I do, too. I'm a Corbin guy. I like Baron Corbin. Everybody craps on him so bad. I like Baron Corbin. Think about it. His finishing moves are 2 of the best in the freaking game. The End of Days and the Deep Six. Both of them. Fantastic moves. They look so effective. I love them. Let's see. Chase Game says, I love his theme as well. I mean, Corbin's got a great theme. Plays Cedric Alexander's or Killian Dane. I don't quite know their entrances. Play Damian Sandow or Bo Dallas. And yes, I'll be here End of Days. Report card says Alex Wright would be hilarious. I can actually do Alex Wright's pretty well, but it's got to come with a spin, brother. And Chris has had people, and he can speak to this on his reaction room live streams, which, by the way, are incredibly entertaining when they happen. He's had people donate, and I'm not saying that anybody will, but he's had people donate like $100, $500 to him. It's ridiculous. Which, by the way, and this is just throwing that out there, if you donate more than $20, if you donate like $40 or $60, if you donate $40, you get 2 spins, $60, 3 spins. Any multiple 20 is how many spins you get. Just completely throwing that out there. Chase games, Bree mode. Well, technically that falls under the Bella Twins. Yeah, but Batista's pretty good. I can do babyface Batista. Let's see here. Report Car Radio. We know you're a Corbin guy, but he's a failure. Well, he's been booked very strangely. I don't know how else to explain it. He is a good heel, though. Corbin is definitely a good heel. Chris Cahill. With the backlash that Charlotte got for winning the title, would fans be more accepting if Becky wins and have the 4 WWE horsewomen as champs? I don't see Charlotte winning at WrestleMania. Of course, we don't know if it's going to be winner take all or if it's just going to be for the Raw Women's title and the SmackDown Women's title is just like a prop. They've completely confused everybody with how they're doing this. 42nd Street Matthew. What are your thoughts on how wasted EC3 has been since joining the main roster? He should be a main eventer, not jobbing on main event. Well, you forget, a lot of people might not know who EC3 is from his time in TNA. And yes, he was TNA World Heavyweight Champion, or Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, whatever. Regardless, he barely was on NXT because he got hurt after his Velveteen Dream match, or during it. And then he joined the main roster and hasn't done a whole lot since. So, from what I heard, it was backstage, like an attitude problem, which I could probably see. You figure you main event one company and you think you deserve the same, but I don't know. I don't know if he should be a main eventer. That might be pushing it a little far, but he definitely should be at least involved with something. Maybe after WrestleMania, but maybe not. I don't know. Let's see here. Okay, let me ask you. If you compared the failures of Jinder and Corbin, what would you say? Well, Jinder was WWE Champion for 6 months. And then he was also United States Champion. And Corbin was just U.S. Champion. You know, Corbin is the only Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner to be a singles champion. Chris Ross with a 5-pound super chat. Drink. Wait, what's happening? I'm confused. You're on the wrong stream, Chris. You know I don't drink. I've told you this. That's a different wheel. I don't have that wheel. That's your wheel. Say hi to Matt for me. Yeah, Jinder... I think Jinder's actually been booked worse than Corbin, despite being WWE Champion, because I don't think anybody bought into it at all. Nobody bought him as WWE Champion. As he says, when you're on NXT, the sky's the limit. Yeah. I mean, with NXT, you really have a chance to make your case to be part of the main roster. And it's not just a longevity thing. It's they either have nothing for you or there's nothing left for you to do in NXT. And you'd rather have them not have anything left for you to do, so you move up to the main roster, rather than they have nothing for you in NXT, let's just move you to the main roster and see what happens. Because generally that does not work out. Jinder Maharaja says, the Forgotten Sons will end up like the Shield. I don't know if they'll end up like the Shield, but they should do well. I mean, they made the finals of the Dusty Classic, so they have a shot. GG Vision, if they don't combine them, then it's completely pointless. It's completely pointless that the SmackDown Women's title was in there anyway. if they don't put it on the line at least. If they do decide to make it a winner-take-all and the winner is Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion, then it makes sense. But if only the Raw Women's Championship is on the line, then I don't know why it doesn't. Does it really help having the SmackDown Women's title in there? You know, the SmackDown Women's division is one of those things where they have a lot of talent, but they're kind of ignored. Like, yeah, you have the first ever women's WrestleMania main event, but besides that and the women's tag team titles, the women aren't going to be on the main card at all. Because you figure the women's Battle Royal is going to be a pre-show. Probably both Battle Royals are going to be a pre-show, and the 205 Live match, because that's just what they do. Jonathan Perez, did HBK sleep with that young intern, or was he up all night? He said he didn't sleep with that young intern, but he was up all night. Report Card Radio, yeah, but Corbin botched against Cena, and now he's facing so much backlash over a WrestleMania match with Angle. Almost as bad as Jinder. Well, Corbin's going to be on the WrestleMania main card, and Jinder Mahal is not. He's going to be in the Battle Royal. Corbin is still booked in relatively decent storylines as far as being on the shows, not as far as story quality. I don't know. I still like Corbin. I still think he could be a main event player because people hate him so much. So it's like, use that. Use the fact that people hate Corbin so much. A lot of people on Twitter work themselves. Like, all the stuff that happens on shows, they work themselves by thinking, like, overthinking too much. It's kind of funny. And as Chris Ross always says, we're all marks and everything's a work. 42nd Street Matthew, EC3 just seems like he's tailor-made for the top tier. He seems like a Vince type. He looks like a Greek god and he can talk his ass off. Well, they haven't let him cut promos at all. They kind of made him a mute. Which is... I don't know why. I don't know what he did. All of it... Let's see. Who has actually been successful out of all of the call-ups that have come up? You had EC3 that was supposed to come up. You had Heavy Machinery come up. You had Lars Sullivan, who hasn't even been on the shows. You had Lacey Evans, and there was there one other person? I believe so. Somebody help me. I can't even remember who was the other person called up. But what have they done exactly? Cesaro has not been. Well, you got Big Show, who held the Intercontinental title. Yeah, well, he held the Intercontinental title before the Battle Royal. I'm talking after the Battle Royal wins. But Cesaro was U.S. champion before that for like 200-some days. Chris Ross again! Spin the wheel. All this pro wrestling talk is for children. You do know it's fake, right? Chris, you really want me to spin that wheel? All right, I'm going to do it. Let's see if you get another entrance, or if you get a bankrupt, or if I'm sending you one of my Pro Wrestling Tees shirts. ProWrestlingTees.com/PA Sensation. You can get one. But you can also win one with a $20 super chat. So, here we go. Dance break. Oh my gosh. All right. Dance break it is. Okay, so let me pull up one of the YouTube things I have to do a dance break. Yeah, if Caitlin was in here, she could watch me do the Too Cool thing, but I didn't see her commenting at all. So, yeah, I didn't see her commenting at all, so I'm going to save the Too Cool one for when she's on. So let's... Who's ready for me to do a Carlton dance? I'm going to look like a moron. I don't even care, but it's what the people want. So, time to move the camera again. So you can watch me dance like a fool. And try not to break my wheel in the process. All right, here we go.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone. But when I see you hanging about with anyone, it's not unusual to see me cry. I wanna die. It's not unusual to go out at any time. But when I see you out and about, it's such a crime. If you should ever wanna be loved by anyone, it's not unusual, it happens every day. No matter what you say.
Cool. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, water break. Chris Ross is giving me a workout today. That's for sure. Good stuff. All right. Sink into the chair a little more. Okay. Jonathan Perez, why do you guys keep saying Corbin is a true heel? I changed the channel when he's on. I don't have any interest in him getting his ass kicked. So in your minds, he has X-Pac heat. He doesn't really care that... you don't really care for him being on screen at all. I like Corbin. He's actually not bad in ring, surprisingly. A lot of people don't like him, but... Still trying to catch my breath from the Carlton. Cherry, answer this, speaking of WrestleMania. Do you think it really would have made much sense for Shawn to return the favor to Brett at WrestleMania 13? Possibly, but then we wouldn't have got Austin Brett. Everything happens for a reason. And Brett probably would have been the heel in that. It would have been weird to have missed out on Bret Austin. And would that have completely ruined the whole push for Austin to be champion next WrestleMania? I don't know. Chase Games, damn right, we love fake wrestling. It's fun seeing men and women fighting undies and tights. And Chris says, I don't like wrestling at all. I like cherry dancing now. Well, you got your wish. You got your wish with your super chat. New and improved Fandango. Fandangoing was fun. We got to do it at 2014 Royal Rumble. One of the few highlights of that show. Bader Muhammad. Hey, Greg. Hey, what's up? Devlin Husband. Whoop, whoop. Smarky bitch alert. Also, a Pro Wrestling Tees thing for Chris Ross. Dead and Old. The Reaction Room. Check it out. Good stuff. And Devlin, you walked into me doing the Carlton. Chris Ross, best $20 I spent on that poker earlier this morning. And that's going to kick your ass. You should put that on YouTube. Not kicking your ass. That'd be good stuff. GG Vision. Greg's got rhythm. He can never stop dancing entirely. Well, I'd like to think I'm a decent dancer at least. Report Card Radio. That was epic. This seems like the antics of a former Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion. Did you lose the title? I can't tell you. I can't tell you if I lost the title or if I retained the title. You have to watch Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, to see what happens. I will tell you this much. It was a match. All right. Did I just pay for you to have Cardiac Arrest live on YouTube? Nearly. I have water, though. I'm good. What's up, Virtue? Good to see you. Let's see. Snow. Yeah, you know what? It is. It was like 60 degrees yesterday, and it's snowing today. Pennsylvania weather for you. Well, Northeast weather, I guess. Devlin Husband, you still need to buy a casual smart shirt. You should buy one of my shirts. Or $20 and spin and try and get one yourself. That's what I'm saying. Have 2 spins of the Wheel of Penn already. Let's go for more. AC, Austin's bloody face is one of my favorite images in wrestling history. A wrestler looks good with blood on his face. And if Shawn and Brett would have fought each other at WrestleMania 13, we never would have had that. So maybe Shawn did the world a favor. Chris Cahill, the only one who won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal and won a title was Matt Hardy last year. Matt Hardy was the quickest to win a title. Cesaro won a tag team title later with Sheamus. It took like a couple years. Big Show never won a title again. Corbin didn't win his championship until the year after he won the Battle Royal. And Mojo Rawley did absolutely nothing with his win. Literally nothing. I think he jobbed the Jinder Mahal. Dead End Old. He'll be spent after a night together on that Jericho cruise, baby. AC, what do you think of female blade jobs? I don't know if I've ever seen it, other than like indie stuff. I remember watching a video of Vita Scott and Gregory Iron telling a story that way. That was actually pretty entertaining. Of course, Gregory Iron is entertaining as all heck. Devlin Hudson. Cesaro also won the tag belt with Tyson Kidd. Yeah, why do I keep forgetting about Cesaro and Tyson Kidd? I was just thinking about this yesterday. It's like, Cesaro won with Sheamus. He also went with Tyson Kidd a year later. It's like, I keep forgetting about their title reign. Devlin Husband. Are we got to talk about the death scene on Impact? Yeah, you know what? It was actually very well done. I got to watch that video yesterday. It's like, you would think death in a wrestling show would have been like hokey or stupid, but they actually pulled it off relatively decently. Virtue says HBK's 97 and 98 for Mania was awesome. It was. I mean, you figure that was basically the entire run of DX plus a little bit more. He had his King of the Ring match with Austin in 97. Shawn Michaels had a great 97 and 98. Chase Game said, just think a week from now, WrestleMania will be starting in 20 minutes. I actually joked about doing a pre-show live stream, but I figured you guys freaking needed all the energy you could have to make it through WrestleMania. Virtue, thank the Hardys. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the Hardys getting over the entire House Hardy gimmick in Impact Wrestling kind of helped open the door for all the Undead Realm stuff in Impact. So, and Chris Cahill, for the amount of crap Impact gets, they can pull stuff off better than WWE. You know, they did very well with Allie's character. I will give them credit for that. And they actually got me very invested in Kiera Hogan, too, who is an incredibly underrated talent, by the way. She's definitely up there with some of my favorite women's wrestlers of all time. Going back to Report Card Radio, would you be interested in going on the Jericho cruise? And do you think Jericho will get that Lesnar match WWE missed out on in AEW? I don't see Lesnar signing with AEW unless they're just throwing out the money. And would I be interested in going on the Jericho cruise? Yeah, if I had the money, I'd love to take my wife on the Jericho cruise. I think that'd be a blast. I know Chris went on the last one because he did a video of it. So, I mean, it looked like an absolute blast. They got to spend time with some of the wrestlers. Got to just sit down and chill with Gregory Helms. It was good stuff. Chase Game, speaking of the Hardys, what do you think of the Hardys versus the Usos at Mania? If they do that, I think it'll be a great match. But they've already announced the Hardys for the Battle Royal. So unless they're going to take them out of the Battle Royal and put them in a title match, I don't know if it's going to happen. Virtue saying, everybody tune in here this Thursday to see who wins the money. Yes, Virtue has graciously put up $100 to the winner of the Iron Man match. He was originally supposed to be like a part of the filming, and we completely screwed that up. So it was not Virtue's fault at all. It was on Jeff, myself, and Aaron. We forgot to include him in it, and that was our bad. So I went on Virtue's Rage, which you can check out on Facebook Live, I believe every Thursday. Follow him at NoDQ_Virtue if you want to watch Virtue's Rage. Plug in all your stuff, Virtue. So yeah, so we cleared the air on that. So the winner gets the money for the $100, and Big G also, who's also on Virtue's Rage, also put up $50 to the winner. So the winner's going to be getting paid one way or the other. Jinder Maharaja, WWE announces collaboration with the Wacky Packages. I don't know what that is. Devlin Husband, Greg, if you go on next year, you can see me and Chris get married. Aw. Do I get to be in the wedding or no? AC, WWE, we kill optimism. Chase Games, Aaron versus Virtue at Mania. Book it, Vince. That'd be entertaining. I'd like to see that. That'd be fun stuff. You wouldn't even need a special referee. Just Aaron versus Virtue. It'd be good stuff. All right, so been plugging the Wrestling Trivia Challenge Iron Man match between myself and Jeff Meacham happening, of course, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a live premiere. So that means the entire video won't be posted once. You can't skip to the end. If you want to see how it goes, you have to watch the whole thing. But you get to know before everybody else. So, Devlin Husband, you can be in on the wedding if you can be the stripper that we plan on hiring. You better be paying me some scratch if you want me to be a stripper. Sorry, King Daddy Dev. If SummerSlam is a big success, could you see Canada hosting more Big Four pay-per-views? You know, I think with the use of the WWE Network, that a lot of foreign countries should be getting the opportunities to host pay-per-views more often. $14.99. It's got to cost more than that, Dev. I ain't cheap. I think they should take WrestleMania to England. Because you figure, if they're having pay-per-views that air on Fridays in Saudi Arabia, like Friday afternoons Eastern Time in Saudi Arabia, then they can do WrestleMania in England or Scotland or some European country or some Asian country or somewhere. That they can do it somewhere that's not in the Eastern Time zone, where you don't have to stick to the WrestleMania starts at 7 p.m. You could have WrestleMania start at like noon Eastern, and then be over by 7 p.m., and then you still have a little bit of your day so you can sleep. So if they have WrestleMania in England, go for it. I mean, with the network, it's a perfect time to do it. Because you can just build that up for weeks and let people prepare for it, and it'd be perfectly fine. I don't know why they don't do that if they're doing the Saudi Arabia shows, and the Australia show even. I mean, you had to get up at, 7, 8 in the morning. You had the Japan show. You had to get up at like 5 in the morning for some. People get up for New Japan shows all the time. Why not? Why not do a WrestleMania or one of the Big Four in a foreign country? Just saying. Kev Dog, if England pays the Saudi money, I'm sure they could. I mean, you figure there are a lot of people that would pay to go to WrestleMania in England. There are probably Americans that would fly over to go to WrestleMania in England. I mean, you figure how many Europeans and people from out of the country fly to America just to see WrestleMania because it's not available in their country. It's either in Canada or it's in the United States. WrestleMania, I don't think it's ever been outside of North America, which I think if any time to do it, it's now. Just saying. Devlin Husband, shoot, WrestleMania starts at noon for me. Where are you at, Dev? Because you're very lucky if WrestleMania starts at noon for you. Jinder Maharaja, WrestleMania in Colorado. Well, I mean, Colorado is not outside of the United States, but it really wouldn't make a difference from when it aired. I mean, you'd have it start... Oh, you're in Hawaii. Okay. That makes sense. I was trying to think. It's like, wait a minute, where would WrestleMania start at noon for you? It's like I completely forgot about Hawaii over there. It was like, hey, Hawaii is a state, yeah. I'm ridiculous. WrestleMania in Colorado. I mean, you could, I guess. Yeah, it wouldn't be that much different. Probably couldn't do it in an outdoor stadium because imagine the people needing to have like the oxygen masks midway through their match. I mean, that's one way to do a last man standing match. It's like, we got to pass out from not having air. Who made the biggest impact as a Latino in WWE history, Eddie or Ray? I don't know the answer to that. They're pretty even. Not even just WWE history, but like professional wrestling as a whole. The Guerrero family and also Rey Mysterio did very well for themselves. Granted, Eddie was only in the WWE for a few years before he passed. And then Rey Mysterio did go on to be world champion. I mean, Eddie was WWE champion in 2004, but it's hard to say. If Eddie would have lived past 2005, I'm sure Eddie would have been probably the top Latin star of all time in WWE history. Not that he isn't, but there's definitely a possibility that if he would have lived past 2005, he would have been. AC says, I heard a rumor earlier last year that they would be holding 2 WrestleManias in 2020. I've seen that too. I don't know how I feel about that. They could call it something other than WrestleMania, because if you have 2 WrestleManias, that kind of kills. It kind of kills the importance of the show as a whole. Not that the Greatest Royal Rumble killed the Royal Rumble. I thought that was fun, but I'm a Rumble nut, so. Devlin Husband says, Enzo Amore to interfere in the WrestleMania main event this year and ruin WrestleMania. Well, if Enzo was on the show, he would ruin WrestleMania. But maybe not. You know, I didn't mind Enzo. Enzo cut some great promos. Enzo could talk. They need to, if they ever brought him back, they would have to use him as a mouthpiece. Because Enzo can talk. Enzo is probably one of the best promo people in the last several years. Which is weird to say, but can you really deny it? In-ring work? Eh. But his promos were incredible. 42nd Street Matthew, if they did 2 Manias in a year, it would probably be one in the US and one in Saudi. The greatest WrestleMania. Yeah, I mean, they probably would do something like that. Chase Games saying, Alberto Del Rio. I can't roll my R's. I haven't had enough water. 42nd Street Matthew. Enzo was obnoxious as hell, but at least he had a character. Too many people on the roster nowadays are guys who are just guy who can wrestle. Kev Dog says the greatest WrestleMania. Yeah, pretty much. Charlotte's record shouldn't count. This is from Tom Huxley, because there was only 1 belt when Trish was around, and it is not fair. You know, I think she should technically only have tied Trish, because they're counting the Divas Championship and her winning the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 32 as 2 separate reigns. Which it shouldn't be, but that's how they count it. Because technically she held 1 title and then she held another title. So they're counting her 1 reign as 2 separate. That's how they're getting the 8. But she's probably going to surpass that 8 anyway. Chase Games, I like Enzo. We need characters and people who can talk. In-ring doesn't always matter. I mean, that's the case for a guy like Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin could never cut a great promo. Which sucks, because he was a fantastic performer. I always liked Shelton Benjamin. I wish he'd get more credit than he does. AC says Charlotte is the new Roman. You know what? Charlotte's actually won more, well, not won more championships than Roman. They're probably about even, actually. Kev Dog says Shelton is fantastic. Yeah, he definitely is. Dead End Old's asking if I'm going to Toronto. I'm going to try. I definitely want to go to Toronto because I know you guys are going. I know the No DQ group is going. And as much as I hope, I don't know if it's going to be possible to do a game of luck of the draw in Toronto, but I would love to. Chris Cahill says, imagine Enzo as Bobby Lashley's mouthpiece. That would be something. Greg, do you see Sami Zayn returning the night after Mania? And Luke Harper, too. Luke Harper might return on SmackDown, and Sami Zayn might return to Raw. AC says, I realize NXT TakeOver will be held on Charlotte's 33rd birthday. Well, then, happy birthday to Charlotte. Yeah, I'm definitely hoping to go to SummerSlam. That's kind of like I don't want to seem like these live streams are for me raising money to go to SummerSlam, but they kind of are because I do have a good job. I do have a good job, and it's paying the bills, but I do need some extra money. So, doing what I can. And of course, you know, can spin the wheel 10 cent, $20, super chat, however you want to do it. Any multiple 20, get you multiple spins. It's been spun twice already. So now would be the good opportunity. Wayne DeP says, do you consider Shamrock versus Lesnar a dream match? No, I don't. Shamrock hasn't been at WWE since '99, so don't expect that one. Which I don't know why Shamrock has been basically blackballed by WWE and completely forgotten about. I don't know what happened. He was only in the company like 2.5 years. AC says, I'll pay my respect to NXT alumni, and Charlotte is NXT alumni. And she had great matches over there. Yeah, a lot of the NXT alumni did. Devlin Husband, is alcohol on that wheel? I don't drink, Dev. I've gone over that. I'm not a drinker. But I will show you, again, in case you missed it. I can sing a song. I can do an entrance. I can tell you stories from my indie days. You can get one of my Pro Wrestling Tees t-shirts. I can answer a question honestly. And of course there's a bankrupt on there, which fortunately hasn't been hit. Report Card Radio, what was the last thing you remember from Shamrock? I remember him winning the NWA title on a gauntlet on NWA TNA's first pay-per-view in 2002. But I like gauntlet matches, like Royal Rumble matches like that. I've always been a fan. Don't care the format. AC, who can forget about the Fatal 4-Way match from NXT TakeOver Rival? The 4 Horsewomen match was absolutely phenomenal. In fact, that was the match that really helped me become a fan of Sasha Banks. I mean, I was a fan before that, but Sasha winning the title in that match was so great. I was so happy for her. Devlin Husband with a $20 super chat. We are going to spin that wheel. All right. And report card meant WWE-wise, and I know he was Intercontinental Champion at least once, and he was the King of the Ring. I remember watching him beat The Rock in that. So, Devlin Husband, let's get you a $20 super chat. Let's get you a spin. What did you get? You get yourself an entrance, brother. All right, that means I have to get up again. All right. Do you have any preference? Do you have any preference on what entrance to do, Mr. Devlin Husband? I've gone over the options before. I've heard Alex Wright was a popular one before. I can bust that one out. But I also have Batista. I have Demon Balor. I have Dolph Ziggler, Johnny Gargano. I'll need to get more just to be able to do more of those in the future. So, Big Daddy Dev, let me know which entrance you want me to do. All right, gotta head to a new stream. See ya. You're gonna miss an entrance, but it'll be all right. Dev, let me know. I also have Shane O'Mac, Shayna Baszler, Shinsuke Nakamura, the Bella Twins, the Iconics, The Undertaker, Triple H, Undisputed Era, Velveteen Dream. Let me know. I need, like I said, I need to get more wrestling themes for the next stream. You want me to do Ziggler's? All right. Dolph Ziggler it is. Okay. Let me just set this up so I can do Dolph Ziggler's entrance. Right. I promise if somebody does another super chat, all right, pick which one. Do you want the Iconics or do you want Ziggler? Gotta pick. Because I can't do both. You want Ziggler? Okay, you retracted the message. Okay. Ziggler it is. All right, here we go. I'm here to show the world. I'm here to show the world. Better watch what I do. Better you don't know that I can't against you. If you ever doubted me, you don't have a clue. I'm here to show the world. I'm here to show the world. That's the problem with. I got my pants stuck in the chair. That's the problem with doing entrances in such a small space. Hopefully that was a good one for you, Big Daddy Dev. As we return back to the chat. $20 super chats. Got 3 of them so far. 2 entrances, 1 dance break. So you know I'm giving you an entertaining show when I provide 2 entrances for you and a dance break. I'm surprised it hasn't hit T-shirt yet because there's 3 spots for it. I'm really surprised with that. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Chris Cahill, what are your thoughts on the corporate ministry and union feud looking back at it? It was quite entertaining. Yeah, it was different. The corporate ministry was becoming like the NWO, though. It had way too many freaking people in it. So when it did stuff like that, it was all right. And it eventually led to Vince McMahon becoming WWE champion, which was weird, but it kind of worked in the story. And it led to Triple H becoming WWE champion for the first 2 times. Did the corporate ministry, so it worked out in the end, I guess. Tom Huxley, Trish 7 with 1 belt and 8 with 3 belts. That's why I'm saying it doesn't count. Yeah, it was a different time. And Trish technically, I believe Trish has longer reigns than Charlotte did. Because you figure one of Trish's championship reigns was over a year. Her last one, or not her retirement one, but her last one. So Trish probably could, I mean, she still wrestles occasionally, so she probably could come back and win the championship again. All right, see ya, Chase Games. Devlin Husband, I like seeing Undertaker hang Big Boss Man, WrestleMania 15, before the corporate part of the ministry. Yeah, it's weird. It's like, hey, you just hung me from a cell, but now we're going to join forces, like a month or 2 later. Attitude Era was weird. It was very weird. The Chiefest Heat, hey, what's up? How you doing? If you're just joining the stream, you've missed me do the entrance of Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin, along with there you go. Dead End Old. Speak soon, brother. I'm heading out in Glasgow to get Greg Cherry Mary. Cheap plug. Dead End Old on YouTube for you sexy pro wrestling fans. Yeah, check them out. They're very entertaining. If you ever want to go there and watch Chris and Nat both get completely hammered, because that's typically what they do on their live streams. It's actually very entertaining. They're two very entertaining people. So, Chris, I hope to see you and Nat both in Toronto, so still gotta hope that happens. Chris Cahill, seems like Beth never lost a step on Raw. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching Beth Phoenix at WrestleMania. I know she's gonna be on Raw in the 8-woman tag, but I don't know why they would completely screw that up unless they're saving her in-ring appearance more for WrestleMania. Cheapest heat. I hope you beat JM's ass on the 4th. I hope so too. All right, see you, Dev. Thank you very much, both of you, for the super chats. Of course, those super chats, those $20 super chats, can lead to another spin of the wheel. You can win a T-shirt. You can watch me dance around or sing like a moron. Appreciate it, Dev and Chris. I'll see you guys later. I'll see you in the chat. Yeah, I'm hoping the Iron Man match goes in my favor. Jeff is the only person who's ever beaten me at Wrestling Trivia. Oh, you're back, AC. The stream wasn't what you were expecting. See, that's why you got the entertainment right here. You got the wrestling entertainment right here. You got me dancing like a moron, doing wrestler's entrance. I mean, it's all for your entertainment. That's exactly what I'm here for, is for your entertainment. It's hard to believe we're only an hour into this. I thought mixing it up with a dance break and a couple entrances would be good for us. All right. But yeah, talking about the Iron Man match. Have a smoke and relax. Hey, guys. The 60-minute trivia Iron Man match between myself and Jeff, because I know WWE's done 30-minute Iron Man matches. Those aren't really Iron Man matches. Those drives me nuts. We are doing a full 60 minutes and overtime if necessary to determine who is the undisputed Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion. I've been champion for 386 days as of today. It'll be 390 come Thursday. So I'm hoping I can say 391 on Friday. But Jeff is the only person who's ever beaten me at Wrestling Trivia. He's beaten me twice, but I've also beaten him twice. Granted, one of those was in a triple threat, so he still holds the one-on-one advantage over me. But I think if I don't beat Jeff, then I don't want to say my entire title reign has been a waste, but there's that one asterisk that's like, yeah, you had a long title reign, but you never beat Jeff one-on-one to retain your championship. I feel like I have to win. I absolutely have to win. Because if I don't, then Jeff's going to reign over Wrestling Trivia Challenge. I won't get a shot till he loses again. Which will suck because that's the rule we have in place. We can't challenge each other. And this is not Jeff challenging me. This was actually me challenging Jeff because he threw a stank over me asking a question incorrectly, which was not my fault. And it's also not Rachel's fault who sent in the question. He could have said something about it then, but he didn't. He decided to make a stink about it on the Elimination Chamber post-show. But I'm not going to have my title reign demeaned like that. That's all I'm going to say. Chris Cahill, have any post-Mania bold predictions? I think Baron Corbin will go to SmackDown and have a decent run. I also think that if Braun Strowman does not go to SmackDown, he'll be released within a year. Which sucks, but they are terribly, terribly using him. Have a smoke and relax as Team Greg. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. I hope I can pull it out for you. 42nd Street Matthew, do you have a favorite Iron Man match, Greg? My favorite, and he says because he was there, was the Benoit Triple H Iron Man match in Pittsburgh. I wish I would have been there for that. I wish I would have been there for that. I was actually there for the Cena-Orton Iron Man match in 2009 at Bragging Rights. That was not my favorite. I still say my favorite is probably Shawn and Brett. Just because, I mean, it was an absolute classic. It was so memorable. I enjoyed Sasha and Bayley, too, in NXT. That was a good one. And I love Sasha the entire way through. That's such a heel. Taunting Izzy. It was so, so good. Chris Cahill, is there any stipulations you would like to see come back and some never used again? I missed the championship scramble. Don Wooding. Oh, here we go. $20 super chat. Yes. So, Mr. Cherry, when will the new season of Wrestling Trivia Challenge start, and who do you have for the playoffs in the NHL and NBA? And don't quit like Dave Bautista. You can't wait till the Thursday Iron Man match. Well, you guys super chat, spin along with that too, Mr. Wooding. So I'll get to that in a second. When will the new season of Wrestling Trivia Challenge start? Likely after WrestleMania would be my guess. For the NHL, I'm always going to go for the Penguins because they're my team. And NBA, I don't even know who's in the playoffs because I don't watch professional basketball. I just don't. I've done commentary for basketball. I've played basketball, but I don't care for watching it on TV. Just me. All right, but since you did send a $20 super chat, you get a spin of the wheel. So let's see what I will be doing. Or what I will be giving away. It all really depends. Let's see. I have a good spin now. Oh, wow. You were one spot away from getting bankrupt. One spot away. But you get an entrance. Don, let me know what entrance you want me to do. If you want me to list the ones, again, I can. Cheapest seats, a Caps fan. Yeah, I mean, we have that rivalry. But hey, the Caps won the cup last year. You guys finally got one. So, Ovechkin finally got his cup. So, you know, we can't talk trash about, oh, he has no cups in his house anymore. But now he does. He's defending champion. So, good on the Washington Capitals. AC says the greatest Iron Man match is Lesnar versus Angle from SmackDown in 2003. That was a good one, too. That was a very good one. Kind of underrated because there were commercial breaks throughout it. So unless you were there live, you didn't get to see the whole match. That's the problem with doing Iron Man matches on TV. That they have the commercial breaks in them and you don't get to see the whole match. So that's why I think the Iron Man matches should stay for pay-per-views only. I don't have Lacey Evans themed on. I'll read you the list. I've got Alex Wright from WCW. I've got Batista. I've got Demon Balor. I've got Johnny Gargano. I've got Mandy Rose, Shane McMahon, Shayna Baszler, Shinsuke, the Bella Twins, the Iconics, The Undertaker, Triple H, Undisputed Era, Velveteen Dream. Those are your choices. Triple H versus Chris Benoit, Iron Man. Yeah, we discussed that. That was definitely a good one. And the finish with Eugene made a lot of sense, too, because that led to Triple H and Eugene at SummerSlam, and it led for Benoit to go on to face Orton, and it was a fantastic SummerSlam main event, but unfortunately will never be talked about again due to the fact that Chris Benoit was involved. Don, let me know which entrance you want me to do. I'll move this already. I read you the list. The Iconics. Oh, son of... All right. I apologize in advance because I'll do what I can. J Cherry 316. Yo, Greg. My name is John Cherry. Let's see who the real Cherry is with some wrestling trivia. Hey, submit your information, your Skype information to nodqmisc@gmail.com. Your Skype information to that and your availability, and we'll try and get you on Season 7, whether I'm still champion or not. All right. All right, so Don Wooding wants me to do the Iconics entrance. So I guess I'm going to have to do the Iconics entrance. So here we go. Let me set up the camera. Got 3 entrances already. That's crazy. Here we go. That's all there is. That's all. Pretty sure. Yeah, I pride myself on being able to do entrances as accurately as I possibly can. As the wheel goes back in place. Glad you appreciate that, Curtis. Bring the wheel closer. You can't really see it. Hollywood Trey was John Cena versus Shawn Michaels and Iron Man, or was that just an hour-long match? That was just an hour-long match because it only had the one fall. I know which one you're talking about, but their 2007 match in England. But that was a great match, too, also interrupted by commercial breaks, because that was on Raw. Chris Cahill, what's your top 3 Mania theme songs? Mine's WrestleMania 33, WrestleMania 10 through 14, and the one with the AC/DC one. So WrestleMania 25, I'm guessing. So you love that. Give me a green light, because I'm ready to go, 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 go. That was actually a good WrestleMania theme song. WrestleMania 10 through 14, also a classic WrestleMania theme. For those that remember when they still did the instrumental ones. I enjoyed Ladies and Gentlemen by Saliva. Of course, that's just a good song anyway. I'm trying to think what the other ones were. What was the thing of WrestleMania 30? I can't really remember. The cheapest seat says his bold post-Mania prediction is next month in Saudi Arabia. Titus will slip again. Well, I mean, if they are doing another Greatest Royal Rumble, that's very possible. Kev Doug says WrestleMania X7. How could I forget WrestleMania 17? I mean, My Way by Limp Bizkit. Actually, 19 too. Crack Addict was a pretty good song too. Yeah, WrestleMania 19, Big Rocker Johnson. That's Superstar by Saliva for WrestleMania 18. I mean, 17 through 20 all had great themes. Because 20 had Drowning Pool. Big Time. Which one are you talking about there, Cheapest Seat? 22 or 21? Because they were both actually called Big Time. 22 was the one by Genesis, by Peter Gabriel. 21 was Soundtrack of Our Lives. You probably mean 22 because that's more related to it. WrestleMania's really through 23, 24 had... And yes, Chris, Linda did use that as her theme. The instrumental WrestleMania theme. I had an entire pack of crackers I was going to eat during this show, too. Figured I'd just start eating those now. But yeah, Chris, Linda did use the WrestleMania theme for her entrance, which was pretty cool. And it made sense because Big Time Peter Gabriel. Okay, yeah, WrestleMania 22. Okay. Yeah, that was a good song. I enjoyed listening to that one. Of course, I enjoyed like classic rock of any kind. So, you didn't like WrestleMania 22, AC? I know it had Boogeyman and Booker T and Charmel and the women's whatever the heck they did pillow fight match. And WrestleMania 12 is underrated. That's interesting. Tom Huxley, is this really going to be Kurt Angle's last match? Probably. He probably can't really go anymore. What should be the order of the WrestleMania matches? Well, we all know Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda is going last. I'd have to look at the card, to be honest with you. I don't think the card's complete. I don't know if I can even answer that. Hopefully, maybe like Friday morning, Friday afternoon, I'll have my WrestleMania predictions up. And my TakeOver predictions, because TakeOver's Friday. So hopefully the card will be complete then. I swear to you, if they add WrestleMania matches after the fact, that's going to drive me nuts. Of course, they kind of did with Undertaker Cena, but there was a build to that. So if they do any special matches, I don't know. Curtis Butler, in your opinion, which match was the best one to close out a WrestleMania? Whew. Well, I talked about the Iron Man match from WrestleMania 12. Definitely a phenomenal match. If you're talking best WrestleMania closing matches, 14 was a good one. 15 was good. 17 was awesome. 19 was awesome. 20 was awesome. I'd have to list them in like a top 10 because there's so many good ones. 20... I was going to say 26, but I have not watched that match in full. 30, 31, and that's probably it. Cheapest seat, I'm going to Mania. It's your first time going. Is there any advice? Having been at WrestleMania, I would get there a little early. I mean, especially since they do the pre-shows now. Because when I went to WrestleMania 28, they only had one pre-show match. It was like immediately before the show started. It was a tag team title match. So I would get there early because you're going to want to get there for parking. Like, parking is ridiculous. I'm just going to tell you that now. I don't know how it is for MetLife because I've never been to New York, New Jersey area. But parking for any football stadium is going to be insane. So get there at like 2:30, 3 o'clock so you can at least walk around a little bit before the show actually starts. And that way you can get some concessions, you can get some shirts, whatever you want to get. And then you can take your seat and actually enjoy the entire show. And probably wear a hoodie since it's in New York, New Jersey area. Tom Huxley, pillow fights, brawn panties, and gravy bowl matches are pathetic. It's not even wrestling. You know, it was the state of women's wrestling at the time where they were sex symbols. And going back and watching it now, especially seeing how women's wrestling is now, I tried to watch the Bikini Beach Blast Battle Royal. I don't know if anybody remembers that one. It was like a tri-branded thing back in 2007. I was like, wow, this is kind of terrible. Like, they're all beautiful, but this is kind of not great to watch. So, like, I mean, not that it was great to watch then, but now knowing the quality of women's wrestling, it is kind of embarrassing. And we can't really hate on it that much because, you know, it was the time. It was not what was expected, but it was the state of women's wrestling at the time. I know Maria talks a lot about respecting the Divas era because it led to what's happening now, but I don't know. I try to give the Divas era its props, especially with the wrestlers that came out of it, like Trish Stratus, like Lita, like Mickie James, like Beth Phoenix, like Melina. The stream got great again. Well, all right. Hopefully you'll be back soon, and we can hopefully spin this wheel again. It's already got 4 spins today. $20 super chat gets another spin of the wheel. Curtis Butler, what is the worst match in WrestleMania in this decade? So that would go back to WrestleMania 25. Do I say 25 or 26? If it goes back to 25, I'll tell you right now, there are 2 candidates from WrestleMania 25. The Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal. That was a complete disaster, especially because it was won by a dude. And also Triple H and Orton, which was a complete flop based on the build-up. It was built up so well, and then the match just sucked so hard. Which is terrible, because Orton and Triple H are both fantastic. But that was probably the worst match they've ever had against each other. Easily. Chris Cahill, would you be okay with the 4 WWE horsewomen and the 4 MMA horsewomen face-off to close WrestleMania? I don't think that will close WrestleMania. I think you need the championship celebration to close WrestleMania, which may just be the WWE 4 horsewomen if Sasha and Bayley retain, and it's only for the Raw Women's Championship, so you can have all 4 horsewomen, WWE 4 horsewomen, be champion at the same time. Other than that, I don't see that you need the MMA 4 horsewomen until the Monday Night Raw after, if you're going to do that. So I don't think you need it after WrestleMania. And we don't know what's going to go on with Ronda after WrestleMania, so who knows. "42nd Street Matthew says, my friend and I used to describe stuff like that as piss breaks. The sad thing is, it used to be. Don Wooding with the $2 super chat. You ever thought about doing a PA Sensation podcast? I've talked about it. I haven't really looked into the hosting packages. I'm covering my mouth because I'm eating, and that's kind of rude to talk with my mouth full. I've thought about doing it. I've also thought about doing it with a co-host, but that also depends on availability. Because I like playing off a co-host. That's why I like doing Cherry versus Neri. I like having T-Fame there to play off of. I miss doing the panels, too. Just because I have people to play off of and people to talk to. And while it's nice to do stuff like this, while I'm talking to you guys and I'm doing ridiculous stuff, it's always nice to have to play off a co-host. And when I did my game show back in college, I had a co-host there who I could also play off of. I work well playing off of other people. Excuse me. Big Rocker Johnson, which match should get the longest time and which should get the least time in Mania? Well, I feel like the longest time is going to be the Battle Royals just because of how many people are in it. As far as the main card, I would like to see AJ and Orton get a decent amount of time. I feel like Triple H and Batista is going to be a long time. I don't know why. Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston should probably be the longest match on the show. I don't think anybody would be satisfied with a WrestleMania 28 repeat if Kofi just hits Trouble in Paradise and then that's it. Curtis Butler's asking if I need a co-host. Well, I don't know. A lot of people offering to co-host my podcast with me. I also got to look into hosting, see how much that costs, to see if there's any free options out there. I'm sure there are. You'll just have to let me know. I could do guest co-host too if there's enough people that want to do it. But I would also like to do a co-host or do a podcast and do a co-host. The only way that would work if it's my wife. I'd also like to do a podcast where I talk about more things than just wrestling. Because while I love wrestling, obviously I'm Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion for over a year. I love professional wrestling. Excuse me. I also like talking about other stuff I like, which is sports. I like talking about game shows, which I'm a huge fan of. I mean, crying out loud, I have the wheel behind me. And I like talking about poker and like talking about video games. I'm an all-around nerd, and I fully expect it. I wear that with pride. So, maybe I'll do a podcast someday. I'd also like to be a guest on people's podcasts. But Cheapest Heat says he'll be the co-host too. Like I said, I could do guest co-hosts like every week or every however often I do. I don't even know if I'm doing the podcast yet. People would like to do that. Don Wooding says you should do a wrestling debate video series if you have the time. That's called Cherry versus Neri. which we need to do another one. We didn't do one all March, and Travis is in Detroit until WrestleMania Sunday, so it'll probably be after the fact. Tom Huxley says Kofi celebrates, then Big E turns on him. We need to get rid of the New Day. You know, I'm going to propose a scenario where if the New Day does break up in that fact, everybody's saying it should be Big E. I'm saying it should be Xavier Woods. Because Xavier would not be expected to turn on them. But he could say that he was the one who brought together the New Day, which is true. He went to Kofi and Big E after they had lost a tag match and saying that they should become a faction. So Xavier could say that he made the New Day what it is, and everybody seemed to forget about him because they were too focused on Big E and Kofi, and he was the third wheel, as it were. So I think it would make more sense for Xavier to turn. And as much as I love Xavier Woods as a babyface and him on Up, Up, Down, Down, I think he would be an excellent heel on his own. And he's a great athlete, too. So I would love to see Xavier turn if that, in fact, happens. But I'll tell you what. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'll tell you this with my WrestleMania predictions video, especially since I'm growing the beard back. If Kofi Kingston does win the WWE Championship, you guys remember Triple H's handlebar beard, like the Harley Race beard? I will shave my face into that if Kofi Kingston wins the WWE Championship, because I'm going to predict Daniel Bryan retains. Dom Wooding says Jericho can't have WWE stars anymore, so you may get your podcast interview after all. Hey, if Jericho wants to have me on the podcast, that's perfectly fine. I'll tweet at him and be like, hey, if you need somebody, you can have the Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion, somebody who's been champion for over a year and hopefully past Thursday. I don't know. I could always send him a tweet, or you guys could send him a tweet. Be like, hey, this guy would be great on Talk is Jericho. I would be perfectly happy doing an hour-long podcast with Jericho. I think it'd be fantastic. So, tweet at him. James Allen, what is your favorite wrestling video game? No Mercy. I mean, I still have it. Still have the N64 game in here somewhere. Hold on. I'm reaching for my video games because this is also my video game room. Yeah, right here. WWF No Mercy. Right there. I also have WrestleMania 2000. Also an excellent game. Both of them are completely fantastic. I need to get... One of these times I should do a live stream where I just do play-alongs. And I hook up my N64 and I just play the video games as you guys watch. If you guys would be interested in watching me play wrestling video games on YouTube. It's up to you guys. 42nd Street Matthew says the Harley race look would be outstanding. I haven't done it in a long time. I think, yeah, the Lemmy look, pretty much. I have not done that look since like 2006 when Triple H was doing it. So if that does happen, I'm going to do one of the live streams and I'm going to have the full handlebar mustache. So look forward to that. Going back a couple to Chris Cahill, people complaining about WWE booking being so bad, but they can't understand. But why can't they understand the writing team have to be cautious because it's so easy to offend people these days? What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, people being offended should not... people being offended should not dictate how people run storylines. It shouldn't. In fact, it should probably enhance it. Because it's like, if you get offended by it, you don't like seeing that stuff, and you want to see somebody get their ass kicked. So, use it to your advantage. 42nd Street Matthew, did you see there's a No Mercy mod released called WCW Feel the Bang? The roster is incredible. I could do that on Twitch, too. I do have a Twitch, which I barely use. It's Pensen Gaming. PENNSEN Gaming. Yeah, I did see that. I actually tweeted at them earlier. I was going to be downloading that because I think they just released it like this past week. So I do need to check that out. Curtis Butler says no backstage assault. You can't do that. Brian Zane already does that with all wrestling games. I'm sure the influencer wouldn't have a problem if I played that. I'd have to find it first. I need to look through my games to see if I even still have it. One of the first live streams I did, I talked with Chris Cass about that, and he loves backstage assault. I need to find it just to say, wow, this is horrible, and to play through the story mode again. I don't remember who I played as. I really don't. I don't know if it was Goldberg or Sting, or certainly wasn't Doug Dillinger. Or like Asia, or whoever the heck was on the roster at the time. Yeah, no. If you guys would be interested in me doing a live stream, either on here or on Twitch, you can follow me on Twitch at Pensen Gaming, PENNSEN, and the word gaming, all one word. If you guys would be interested in that, then you can follow me on there. I might do some WWE 2K19 stuff too, because I haven't played that since I beat the $1 Million Tower. But sadly, I did not make the cut for the $1 Million Challenge. Sucks, but it is what it is. Corey Smith, top 5 WrestleManias ever. 17, 19, 30, 31, 20. Not necessarily in that order, but those were all 5 of them fantastic. Probably 19 might go above 17 because that card was amazing. If AJ moves to Raw after Mania, if Seth wins at Mania, AJ versus Seth main event at SummerSlam. That would be cool because the two of them I don't think have ever faced off one-on-one. I'm talking about like the indies and stuff too. I don't think they've ever faced off. F, Mary Kill, Vicky Guerrero, ODB, and Karma. This is a weird game. Okay. If I had to, if I was a single dude, probably kill Vicky, marry Karma, and FODB. I guess. No particular reason. That really should go under Truth Time for one of those. But I guess that's not completely a personal thing. Whatever. Kay Masher, what's next for Asuka? Your thoughts? What is next for Asuka? Well, she's going to be in the Battle Royal at WrestleMania, which she needs to either win it or like be in the final 2. Honestly, I would probably have her in the final 2 and have like a babyface eliminate her. And then the next episode of Raw or SmackDown, she completely snaps and turns heel. That's probably what I would do with her. Because if you have her win the Battle Royal, that seems like a cheap, be like, oh, we're sorry we took the title off you type thing. Curtis Butler, what wrestling match made you cry or almost cry? Well, I've never watched the Shawn Michaels Undertaker WrestleMania 26 match in full. Which I don't know why, because Shawn wrestled after that. But I don't know. I would really have to sit down and think about that. I mean, the WrestleMania 7 reunion with Macho Man and Elizabeth, that made me almost cry. I mean, it was an emotional moment. Kurt Eternick, I believe I got that right. When did you start watching wrestling? Early 90s. The first match I completely remember watching was the main event of SummerSlam 1992, which was Bulldog and Bret Hart, which is a great match, and I need to watch it again to see how much I appreciate what they did. Because obviously when I was, 5, 6 years old, I couldn't really appreciate it. It was around that time frame. And I also got my first 2 wrestling action figures that I ever got were Ric Flair and Arn Anderson. So, strong connection with the Horsemen there. Will the Taker streak end be the biggest Mania moment that will ever happen? I watched that match back in when Brock won. I'm shocked how quiet the crowd got so fast. I remember sitting there. I was watching that at Buddy's house. And I sat there just in complete shock that they actually ended the streak. I'm pretty sure, I was just sat there, for a minute and a half. So, biggest Mania moment that will ever happen? I don't know, because I think Seth Rollins cashing in Money in the Bank was an incredible moment, too. I think they're going to try and outdo themselves with WrestleMania moments, because WrestleMania doesn't seem like it's about the match quality anymore as much as it is about the WrestleMania moments. I got a tweet from somebody. Your thoughts on SmackDown Live possibilities going to 3 hours when it goes to Friday nights on Fox? I wish they would just both go to 2 hours. I'm hoping that's just a rumor that's not true. Because if they made both shows 3 hours, and then the pay-per-view's 4 hours, it's going to be like, oh my gosh. But maybe it'll provide opportunities. I don't know. If you get everybody on the show, if you give people a chance to do what they want to do, quite frankly, you need to move 205 Live to a different night and put it in Full Sail. You need to. Quite honestly, 205 Live should be after NXT. But, especially if you make NXT go live, they should make NXT Live at 8 and 205 Live at 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday nights. I don't want them... They need to move Raw back to 2 hours, SmackDown back to 2 hours. I feel like if you moved NXT to 2 hours, you would lose some of what makes it special. Personally. Curtis Butler, Seth Rollins versus Kenny Omega. Who would you select to win? Probably Seth. That would be an incredible match to watch. I would love to watch that match. With Omega being with AEW, I don't know if it will ever happen. I would love to see it happen. I would love to see... Here's the thing. I would love to see the WWE reach out to companies that are not them. Like, they have all these brands. That's perfectly fine. But I would love for them to reach out to other companies like AEW, like Impact Wrestling, like Ring of Honor, like New Japan, and do, a working agreement for, 1 show a year to just put on the best possible matches. And don't worry about company affiliation. You don't worry about anything like that. You just book the best show you possibly can. No titles on the line because you can't have interpromotional title battles. But you just put matches together like Seth and Kenny, like the Bucks and the Hardys, who I know they've wrestled before. But you put matches like that on the card. You have, and not just battle royals either. You can have battle royals for people not on the show, but you don't want to bury any promotion. You want to make it kind of even across the board, and you put on the best show possible. I would love to see that. I don't know where it airs. I don't know if you put something like that on the network, because if it goes on the network, you feel it's going to be WWE, like, leaning. It'd be weird to see, like, all those talent on the WWE broadcast, because technically it would be. But I don't know. 42nd Street Matthew, Impact Wrestling United We Stand next Thursday has a lot of inter-promotional stuff. One of the matches has 6 different promotions. Well, that's cool. I wish I could watch it, but unfortunately, the Iron Man match is also Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So that will be my focus. As much as I'd like to watch Impact Wrestling before all the WrestleMania festivities begin, I'll be focused on the Iron Man match. Chris Cahill, I still remember when it first started Raw, the whole 9:15 advertisement to promote it. Why was it so catching? Well, I know Nitro used to do like 8:57 or 8:58, and that's when they would like read the results of Raw, because Raw was still taped at the time. Remember, Raw was not fully live until I believe '99. So they wanted to give away the results of their shows, and so people wouldn't watch, which ultimately backfired on them. I do miss 2 hours Raw, because like it felt like that stuff mattered a little bit more. So we've been going for a pretty decent bit. You guys can still earn yourself a T-shirt with a $20 super chat and another spin. We're doing pretty good today. We've gotten 3 entrances out of me. We got a dance break out of me. Doing very well today. I'm glad you guys have been enjoying the stream, or at least I hope you have. I don't know if I want to go until 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. You guys let me know. Do you want me to stay on for an additional hour? I try and keep my live streams to 2 hours, but if you want me to go for an additional hour, I totally can. As if you guys are staying here that long. And also, I'm wondering if I should put the streams back on my channel. I know you guys are already subscribed to the No DQ channel. It's good to see you guys here. But you guys miss out on some of the graphics I put up. Because I'm doing this through the Streamlabs, but the Streamlabs is only set up through my YouTube account. Which, if you want to go subscribe to it, it's youtube.com/luckofthedraw. All one word. So if you guys want to subscribe over there, because I may do some streams over there too, if you guys want to join me for that. Curtis Butler wants me to go to 6. I can totally do that. I can go to 6 o'clock. I also have a lot of stuff over on that channel. I have my game show over on that channel. I have some of my backyard wrestling from many, many years ago on that channel. If you want to go check that out and see how terrible I was back then, you can go do that. Big Rocker Johnson, are you guys going to do a how I would have booked? Eventually. I think that's like a panel topic, or a, it's not the No DQ review, it's probably a No DQ panel topic. How I would have booked certain things, like how I would have booked The Invasion, how I would have booked ECW's Return to Sci-Fi, how I would have booked Royal Rumble pay-per-view or WrestleMania or something like that. Yeah, we would need to do like a No DQ panel on how I would have booked. Like just specifically one show. Because if you try and do multiple shows, that show itself is probably about 3 or 4 hours long. Chris Cahill, would it make more sense to hold Sammy off until the shakeup, since it's in Montreal? Possibly, but I feel like he would get a huge pop coming back the night after WrestleMania as well. But you figure Kevin Owens will probably be in the shake-off shakeup in Montreal also. Is that the Raw or the SmackDown of the shakeup? Because they'll probably do the whole week. Maybe NXT too. Curtis Butler, could Pittsburgh support an NBA team? I've never seen Pittsburgh even try to reach out to have an NBA team. I don't think I don't think there's a market for it. Maybe it's just because I'm not a basketball fan, but I've never seen like an outcry and be like, "Hey, Pittsburgh needs an NBA team." It's like, we got a baseball team, we got a football team, we got a hockey team. We're good. I've never seen outward support for an NBA team. So could we support it? We probably could, but I don't think the interest is there, personally. So we got ourselves. I'm wondering where the rest of the No DQ group is at. They're all sleeping. They're all out doing stuff. Yeah, yell at them. Oh, both shows are in Montreal. Okay. Chris Eternick, have you ever watched any AWA show matches with the Crusher? Not that I can recall. I have watched some AWA matches when they used to have AWA on ESPN Classic. I don't believe I watched any with the Crusher. I might be wrong. I did see matches with Scott Hall, with Kurt Hennig, with Vader, before he was Vader, and a few others that I can't recall off the top of my head. So, I did enjoy watching the AWA. It's nice watching some of the classic wrestling. Curtis Butler, do you get any questions about Wiz Khalifa? Sometimes. I don't know him personally. Just because he does the whole black and yellow thing, which is... I approve of the song, but it's black and gold. It's not black and yellow. It's just an annoying preference. Chris Cahill says Aaron's keeping Caitlyn busy. No, I don't want that image in my head. So, excuse me. The cracker was a little difficult to go down. Curtis Butler says, no, but I've heard Crusher promos from the 60s. I can only imagine what 1960s wrestling's promos would look like. Big Roger Johnson, what was your favorite year for pay-per-views? 2002 was a really good year. 2003 wasn't far behind it, but 2002 was an excellent year for pay-per-views. All the big four were great. I mean, WrestleMania 18 was probably the least great of the four, if that makes any sense. But it was still great. The Royal Rumble 2002 was fantastic. SummerSlam 2002 was probably the best SummerSlam they ever did. And Survivor Series 2002, despite the fact that they didn't have any Survivor Series matches, was still a great pay-per-view. Corey Smith, do you ever see a SummerSlam in a stadium arena? Maybe a baseball one like the Rumble outside of Fenway Park or Yankee Stadium? Possibly. I'm surprised they don't, but it's probably a conflict with baseball schedules and with football starting up around that time frame, why they don't do it in an outdoor park. They probably could. But it all depends. I mean, they should do SummerSlam at PNC Park. It's not like the Pirates are in the hunt for the playoffs anyway. 42nd Street Matthew. If you're in the mood to watch a really old school match, check out Vern Gagne and Lou Thesz. It's an hour long and never boring. A lot of subtle heel stuff from Thesz. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Curtis Butler says, doesn't matter to me. I'm a Raiders fan. Hey, you got some good talent with some of the trades, so, I mean, we'll see how that goes. The Raiders were in the playoff hunt a couple of years ago, so just because they were terrible last year doesn't mean it's a year-to-year thing. 42nd Street Matthew, that match recommended by Don Callis. Well, there you go. Chris Cahill, have you ever watched any Chris Van Velt videos and thoughts on the Headbangers one? Never seen it, so can't provide an opinion. Big Rucker Johnson, should they bring back Saturday night's main event? I don't think it's necessary. Especially with all the content they have on the network and stuff, I don't think you need it. What happened? Did Auburn beat Kentucky? Because that screws up my bracket completely, because I had Kentucky winning it all. College basketball. Yep, Auburn beat Kentucky. So my bracket is dead. Cool. Oh well. I didn't have it in my own, so I don't care. See, I'd be more excited if Auburn beat Alabama in college football. That I'd be more excited about. Curtis Butler, we're both Yankees fans. Well, there you go. We are both Yankees fans. Yep. Hopefully they can make it further than they did last year, or at least prevent the Red Sox from winning another title. Granted, the Red Sox are still 18 World Championships behind the Yankees and catching up, but they've won too many in recent years for me to be comfortable with it. Chris Cahill, I'd rather have Cyber Sunday back. Cyber Sunday would actually probably work a lot more. Like you could tweet at something just to have your votes. Because I remember they tried to do the voting on an episode of Raw one year, and like the website didn't work. So it'd probably work a lot better in this day and age. All right. I have no idea where the rest of the NoDQ group is. They're probably out doing stuff. James Allen, have you ever watched Christian Miracle or Miracle WWE Sins on YouTube? I don't even know what that is, so no, I have not. King of the Ring would be good to bring back. There's like mock-up posters to do a Queen of the Ring tournament, which if that led to a title shot, that'd be something, but I just want to go on a mini rant about the WrestleMania Battle Royals. What do you win a trophy? Like, who wants to compete in a Battle Royal just for a trophy and not for, like, a championship opportunity or anything like that? You need to put something on the line for these WrestleMania Battle Royals. Otherwise, they're just filler matches to get everybody on the card. I think Naomi has a point. Chris Cahill, I miss Raw Roulette. I do, too. I don't even remember the last time they did a Raw Roulette. Was it, like, 2008? It's been a long time since they've done it. But they need to bring it back. Because then you can have a wheel like this. Hey, check it out. Wheel of Pensen. You spin it, you win something. You win me being an idiot, or you win a t-shirt. $20 super chat for a spin on the wheel. I need to, like, advertise that somewhere. It's like, but the problem is, like, doing this on Aaron's channel, I don't get to have the graphics up to do the things. I might have to start doing these streams on my channel. I appreciate Aaron for giving me the platform to do them on his channel, but I need to start doing them on my channel too, and building a following there. So if you want to, youtube.com/luckofthedraw, all one word. I need to, like, write that down. Is this like a cupcake wrapper? What is this? I don't think I have a pen in here either. Well, I'm not leaving the stream to get a pen. So, yeah, youtube.com/luck of the draw. Go subscribe over there. I'll probably start doing live streams on there too, just to have a little bit more fun. I like doing the no DQ live streams. I appreciate the super chats that I got today. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And then you join me over there and I'll do the streams. Same way I do them here. Curtis Butler, in your opinion, what killed the NWO? Vince McMahon killed it with a lethal dose of poison. Also the fact that Hogan turned babyface and Scott Hall got fired. The NWO was never going to be the success it was in WCW. Big Rocker Johnson. They should have the winner of the Andre Battle Royal get a title shot for either the U.S. or the Intercontinental title. That would be fine. That would be completely fine. They'd at least have something to fight for instead of being in complete mediocrity for basically the rest of their careers. The Women's Battle Royal could be like a winner gets a title shot at the next pay-per-view or something. They should put a mid-card title and Raw or SmackDown Women's title for the Battle Royal winners at any time up to the Royal Rumble. Problem is, that's essentially Money in the Bank. I mean, if you think about it, that's basically Money in the Bank for the mid-card titles and Money in the Bank for the women's title already. Which Money in the Bank is almost a concept that's completely killed. Probably the most useless cash-in was the one that Strowman did. Completely wasted. Chris Cahill, which Cena feud was better, the one with Edge or the one with Orton? Probably Edge. Because the Orton one seemed like it went on forever. And the one with Edge just seems so natural. Like they really hated each other. Curtis Butler says number 14 in the Royal Rumble is a curse. Yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is. Because Nakamura won the Royal Rumble from 14. And ever since WrestleMania last year, Nakamura's stock has went from this to like... which is not his fault at all. It's just they booked it. Big Rocker Johnson says the Andre Battle Royal will probably be on the main show. It probably will, and that's because of the Saturday Night Live guys. Isn't that terrible? You get celebrities on the Battle Royal, that's how you get it on the main show. Not the rest of the guys in the match, but the celebrities. I mean, that's why the WrestleMania 32 one was on the main card, because you had Shaq in it. Granted, Corbin won, but... the most wasted cash-in was Corbin. Yeah, I was very disappointed with that as a Corbin fan. That they just completely blew that cash-in. He didn't really recover from that until he did the whole Constable gimmick. Yeah, he won the United States title in there, but he did not really recover from that Money in the Bank cash-in until he shaved his head and was an even bigger heel. Technically, you could say the most wasted cash-in was Kennedy getting injured, and then he had to lose the thing to Edge, and then Edge cashed in Money in the Bank, and then he got injured. Kennedy got so freaking screwed. He could have been world champion. Because he wasn't really that hurt when Edge speared him. Big Rocker Johnson says Andrade should win the Battle Royal. Do you want to wish that on him? Because the Andre Battle Royal winners have not had a successful year after winning the match. Granted, Matt Hardy became tag team champion, but then he lost it to the B team. And then him and Bray Wyatt completely disappeared from TV. Or Lars Sullivan. I mean, Lars Sullivan would be a good choice because he would kind of be a special entrant. And then that could be the way they debut him, is to have him like completely dominate the field and even toss out Strowman. It's possible. That's probably the only way they could save face with Sullivan. Because he was supposed to debut and like apparently feud with Cena, and then that became nothing. I actually figured I'd make it through this entire pack of crackers. I'm not going to. Alright, guys. Gonna make another plug. Well, a couple plugs. Obviously, the Wheel of Pensen. If you've been here for the entire stream, you've seen me do the entrances of Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, and the Iconics. So yes, I did the entrance of Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. Both of them. And you've also seen me do a dance break to the Carlton Dance. So that's something. But you can also win a t-shirt from my Pro Wrestling T store. $20 super chat, you get a spin of the wheel. And there is a bankrupt spot right here, which Don Wooding almost hit. Which I would have felt terrible for, but it's on there for a reason. This is the only bankrupt wedge on the entire wheel, so it's a 1 in 24 chance for nothing to happen. Let's see. James Allen, do you have a favorite Raw and SmackDown match for the mid-card wrestlers? Are you talking this year or are you talking ever? Because technically, Edge and Orton are going to be considered the mid-card of this pay-per-view. WrestleMania might kick off with that match, the main card. I don't know. It's hard to remember what all the matches are because they've just announced several matches in the last week or so, and some of them they've just announced. I think Shane McMahon and The Miz is going to be fantastic. Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio will probably be good. Lashley and Balor might be good if Balor's the demon. Roman Reigns versus McIntyre is going to be... that one should just be a slugfest. Hey, Adrian, how you doing? Big Rocker Johnson, how would you debut Gronk? I wouldn't. I'm not a Patriots fan. I don't want to see him in WWE. I know he's a big WWE fan. He's a Mojo... Like, he's best friends with Mojo Rawley, which is another reason he doesn't need to be in WWE. Make them a tag team, I guess. Call them the Complete Douches or something. 1995 Duder. Do you think Rob Van Dam will be in the WWE Hall of Fame, and when? I'm surprised he's not. If they do a WrestleMania in Philly, that would probably be the time to do it. Otherwise, I don't know when you would put him in. But I think someday he will be in the WWE Hall of Fame. I don't know when the ECW guys are going to get a chance to go in, because Tommy Dreamer will probably go in eventually. But they've been kind of reserving it for like WWE guys and some WCW guys and some AWA, NWA guys. You don't really see the ECW, like the guys who are most known for being in ECW, you don't see them getting inducted very often. But probably the first among those will be Van Dam, if not Tommy Dreamer. "42nd Street Matthew, speaking of RVD, he is on the Impact United We Stand card next week. Well, that probably has something to do with why he's not being inducted this year. It's him and Sabu versus Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix in a death match. That's going to be ridiculous. The fact that the ECW guys are still doing like ridiculous hardcore matches are insane. And Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix, I would not want to compete in a death match against them. I mean, they do some ridiculous stuff. Ridiculous stuff that is like, why would you do that to yourself? I mean, watch some of the stuff in Lucha Underground. You had like skewers. I don't remember who it was that faced Brian Cage, but they like stuck skewers in his head. It's like, why would you do that? No, can't. Chris Cahill, out of all the Hall of Famers that is counting this year's, how many are actually legit based off their career? That the argument of Tori Wilson being in the Hall of Fame based on her career, I don't think that one's based on her career as much as the mainstream exposure from her being in WWE. Because she was never a champion. I think that was the argument of a lot of people. It's like, you know, there are other women who deserve this, like Molly Holly, like Victoria. But Tori Wilson is like, I don't know. I probably would have rather seen Stacy Keibler, who also did not win a championship in her career. But that's just me. 1995 Deuter, the Body Donna should be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, probably not. Who's your favorite wrestler in the past 2 years? The past 2 years? Well, I've always been a Sasha fan. So, I would say Sasha Banks. As far as male wrestlers, it's hard to go against Finn Balor or Seth Rollins. For Second Street Matthews says Pentagon Jr.'s mask versus hair match with Sami Callihan was outstanding. I did see clips of that. Didn't they have like steaks or stuff? Not like delicious steaks you eat, but like steak, S-T-A-K-E. They were like jamming to the. I'm not a fan of death matches where you like stab your opponent with stuff. Which is why I was kind of surprised where McIntyre stabbed Ambrose in the eye with a pencil. Like, I'm surprised that made it to WWE TV. Which doesn't seem like a big deal, or like a big spot, but it's like, dude, it's like trying to stab your eye out. That's insane. And Renee Young reacted to it very well. Of course, it was her husband getting his eye stabbed out. Railroad spikes. Yeah, I thought it was something like that. Like, I always thought, like, thumbtacks were bad enough. Imagine landing on those, but then you bring in, like, this other stuff. It's like, geez, you guys are, like, mutilating your bodies. What are you doing? Curtis Butler, what is your full opinion of AEW? I hope they succeed. I really do. I hope they give competition to the WWE. People, like, acting like they're better than WWE, it's like, they haven't run a show yet, so calm down. But I'm not rooting for them to fail. I'm not like a WWE fanboy. It's like, I want the wrestling business as a whole to succeed. Because the better wrestling gets, then the more wrestling there will be. So, I hope it does very well. 42nd Street Matthew. I'm not a big fan of death matches for no reason, but as a culmination of a feud, they can really work. Yeah, death matches for no reason is ridiculous. Stuff like CZW is just stupid. There's actually stuff out there worse than CZW. IWA Mid-South, I believe, does like deathmatch tournaments. I watched, there's a documentary on YouTube about that, where they talk about like the King of the Deathmatch tournament. And they just go over, they go through the story of like the history of it, and then they go through some of the clips where guys are just like taking shots with light tubes and all this other stuff, and like getting stuff jammed into their head that's just stuck there. It's like, I'm trying to get a better stomach about stuff like that, but it's still hard to watch because it's like, why would you do that to yourself? Like, I have always been on the technical wrestler side. I do like hardcore matches. Like, I do like those moments with, like, stuff like that where you're could probably, like, seriously mutilate your body for no reason. I don't care for that. Eddie's asking, what do I like about Finn Balor? He's a good wrestler, but sucks on the mic, and aside from the demon character, he's nothing special. He doesn't really get a chance to cut promos, especially now. He just kind of does his thing. He just kind of comes out, does his entrance and whatnot. It's a shame they don't bring the demon character around more. Granted, he can't do it every pay-per-view, because like that would ruin how special it is, but he used to do it at every TakeOver show. So he's doing it even less frequently than he was doing it in NXT. I've always been entertained, and he's a good wrestler. So, Dorian Moore, Kofi should win at Mania and Vince feeds him to Roman. Okay, Verge. Curtis Butler, CZW is an outlaw mud show. That's one way to put it. I was going to bring up that documentary. It's from Vice. Yeah, that's probably where I saw it, on Vice's YouTube channel. 1995 Dude, they should have had Aleister Black beat The Undertaker at this year's Mania and have him as the new Lord of Darkness and have his own ministry as well. That would be interesting if Aleister Black ever went full heel to do something like that. As long as they don't make it like cheesy horror stuff for the sake of doing it, like they did in the House of Horrors match, which was just unnecessary. Like that match was just so bad. So bad. Chris Cahill, can we assume whoever wins the Roman versus Drew will determine the winner of Seth versus Brock? Not necessarily. I've realized watching the last few WrestleManias, this is the show that is hardest to predict because they could go any direction with it. They could literally go any direction they wanted to with it. And even if Roman defeats Drew, I don't think that's going to tell who wins between Lesnar and Rollins. I really hope, for Seth's sake, that they don't have Lesnar beat Rollins just so Lesnar can lose to Reigns again. Because then that makes it seem like nobody can beat Brock Lesnar except Roman Reigns, which is garbage. James Allen says, can you see Evan Bourne returning back to WWE? He might help out 205 Live. I don't see him either there or NXT. I don't see him coming back on Raw and SmackDown if he ever did go back. 42nd Street Matthew. I'm just confused by the ellipsis. Okay, that's on this. Unorthodox Man, only just joined the chat. Oh, you've missed quite a bit, Unorthodox Man. You've missed me do the entrances of Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, and the Iconics, thanks to the spins on the wheel of Penson. $20 super chat, by the way. Do you think Kofi will become WWE Champion at WrestleMania? I wouldn't mind seeing it. I have this feeling like it's not going to happen. Everybody's building it up in their minds where Seth's going to win, Kofi's going to win, and Becky's going to win. At least one of those is going to lose. I don't know who. I do not see the WWE completely changing everything and giving us everything we wanted. I don't see it happening. Because granted, with the Superstar shakeup and after WrestleMania, they can start storylines however they want. I don't think they're going to give us everything I want. Everything at once. The 1995 Duder, would you be okay if they did a WCW one-night stand? Is there anybody really in WCW that we would need to see now? I mean, think about it. Aren't a lot of them retired? Or, like, dead? Or can't wrestle? I mean, who would you even have for the show? Curtis Butler, my Sunday's in April, which is your birthday month. Well, happy birthday whenever it is in April. Because you have WrestleMania 35 and Game of Thrones. And you also have the Iron Man match for the Wrestling Trivia Challenge Championship Thursday, April 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern for the live premiere. myself and all 390 days as champion when it hits on Thursday, defending against the 4-time Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion, Jeff Meacham. TJS, you just saw your notification. Holy crap. I've been on this for like 2+ hours and been promoting it all week, and you're just now getting in. You missed me doing entrances. I've had 4 spins on the wheel so far. I'll go for more if you want. Curtis Butler, Turd Boy is here, my apprentice. If you could go back in time and be front row for one entire WWE pay-per-view, which would it be? 1992 Royal Rumble. I would love to have said, I was at the greatest Royal Rumble match of all time. Not the one in Saudi Arabia, but the one where Ric Flair went a full hour. That was just, it was so good. But, like, I feel like if I went back in time, it's like, I know how it would go, but I would also miss hearing Heenan's and Monsoon's commentary. And also, if I knew how it went, like, the whole going back in time to say, it's like, I know how this goes. It's like, maybe if I had, like, my memory, like, temporarily erased for, like, that hour, and then I got it back and, like, remembered that I was there for it. It's like, I don't know. That'd be fun. 42nd Street Matthew. They already buried everyone from WCW that came over, even Sting. Yeah, I mean, there's no point in doing a WCW one-night stand. Like I said, you wouldn't have anybody left, really. TGS, you agree with me that Kofi isn't winning the title, correct? I don't think he is. That's my prediction, is Daniel Bryan's retaining. But if he does, I'm getting the Triple H handlebar mustache going on. Like, that's my WrestleMania bet. We at No DQ make WrestleMania bets every year, so that's mine. Mine are normally obscure, so I don't have to do them, but that one's pretty straightforward. 1995 Duder, do you think they're going to combine the Women's Championship at WrestleMania and have the undisputed Women's Champion? I don't think they'll combine the belts. If they do make it winner take all, I think that the champion will have to defend on both brands. Like, they'll have to defend the Raw Women's title on Raw and the SmackDown Women's title on SmackDown. Eddie, did I ever attend a WCW show? No, I did not. I never attended a WCW show. I've been to very few, like, main shows in my life. And it's really just a financial thing. I have attended some of the pay-per-views. I've attended WrestleMania, I've attended the Rumble, I've attended SummerSlam, I've attended Raw, SmackDown, but never a WCW show. Greg, what is your #1 match of all time? Are you talking my favorite match, or are you talking as far as match quality? My favorite match is an odd one. It's Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon at King of the Ring 2001. I love that match for so many reasons. As far as match quality, I mean, that one's still great as far as match quality, but probably the 92 Rumble. I'm a Royal Rumble guy, what can I say? Big Rocker Johnson, do you think Seth will get busted open by Brock? Possibly. They used the whole blood to try and, like, build sympathy for Reigns last year, and it didn't really work. He just got busted open for no reason and lost anyway. I guess it's a possibility that Seth just keeps kicking out of F5s, but I don't want that to feel like frickin' last year's WrestleMania main event. TJS, great job on the hype video. I appreciate that. If you didn't know, the hype video for the Iron Man match I actually put together. It was probably one of my favorite productions I've ever done. 1995 Duder, do you think the Great Khali is underrated? In my opinion, he is one of the best big men in wrestling. I don't think he's underrated at all. I don't know exactly how high he's rated, but the guy can barely move. I know my wife's making garlic chicken because I can smell it up here, and it's amazing. I may just go to 5:30, guys. I'm not sure. Eddie, Royal Rumble 2003 is very underrated. I went back to watch it the whole day and enjoyed the whole thing. Even Dawn Marie and Tori Wilson. All right, I'm going to make a couple final pushes here. Obviously, I'm going to 5:30 instead of 6. Obviously, you guys still have a little bit of time for me to spin the wheel. I've had 4 spins already, so that's pretty awesome. So $20 super chat if you want to watch me do this one more time before the stream ends. Get it in now, and you can still win a T-shirt. I'm surprised with the spins I've done. I have not given a T-shirt away yet. There's 3 spots on there for a T-shirt. There's this orange spot right here, spot right across from it, and another one down here, like down here. It's off screen. TJS says, I'm really looking forward to the Universal title match. I love Seth. That's a badass face. I hope he does well. I don't know if he'll win either. It's really tough to determine. I'm eventually going to have to pick a horse when I do my WrestleMania predictions later this week. But, yeah, I'm not sure who I'm going with for that. I kind of want Seth to win, but I know Seth, Kofi, and Becky all aren't winning. In fact, there's a possibility that none of them could win. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if none of the 3 of them won? Can you imagine if Bryan won, if Lesnar won, and Ronda or Charlotte won? Can you imagine how that crowd would react if none of the 3 of them won their championships? I mean, that'd be insane. Chris Cahill says the greatest big man is Taker. Hard to argue. I mean, not if you look at his last couple years worth of stuff, but if you look through his career. 1995 Duder. Do you think Sting should have won the WWE Championship at Night of Champions? Probably wouldn't have been a good idea considering he was injured at that show. And it was his last match. So, probably not a great idea. It would have been interesting to see Sting with the WWE Championship, even if for a day. TJS, the wheel's pretty neat. Hey, you want to see it spin? $20 super chat. You might win a T-shirt, TJS. I mean, the opportunity's out there. And my wife made the wheel, so I'm very proud of her for that. Curtis Butler, I'll make an appearance when KCA does. Yeah, I haven't seen kayfabe. Curtis Butler, the greatest big man are Andre, Taker, Kane, and the Big Show. Yeah, hard to argue with that. I'm trying to think of another big guy that was popular and who was very athletic. Could say Razor Ramon, too. I mean, he was 6'7", almost 300 pounds. He's not really considered in the big man conversation, but he was a big dude. Went to Access a few years ago and saw Wade Barrett. That dude's tall. 42nd Street, Matthew. Sting should have at least gone over Triple H. Him losing was a travesty. Yeah, I didn't get the point of that. I didn't understand why Sting lost to Triple H, especially after all that build. Because then Sting just kind of disappeared until he showed back up the night after SummerSlam. 95 Duder, who was the greatest GM in WWE history? For me, it was AJ Lee. Probably Eric Bischoff. I mean, with Eric Bischoff, you really believed it. Curtis Butler, Sting versus HBK would have been an interesting match. Yeah, it would have been. They probably still could go, honestly. If Sting felt healthy enough to wrestle again, they probably still could put on a great match. TGS, I would if I wasn't a broke-ass college student. Ask your girlfriend for money. Macaroni Tony, what's your favorite Eddie Guerrero memory? Him winning the WWE Championship was a good one. And also, all his like backstage promo work at the 2005 Royal Rumble with him and Ric Flair. So good. James Allen, your thoughts on if Eddie Guerrero would have faced Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 22? Oh, that match would have been so good. So good. Eddie and Shawn. Unorthodox man, 1 spin for 20 or 3 spins for 50. It actually would be 3 spins for 60. It's $20 a spin. But if you want to send a super chat, we still got a few minutes left. We can still get some spins in. Curtis Butler says Kevin Nash has bad knees like me. Yeah. I don't have the greatest knees either. And Chris Cahill, the greatest GM for me is Eric Bischoff. Yeah. It's hard to argue against that. You could, in theory, say Teddy Long, because he had a long tenure as GM. 1995 Duder. The 2004 Royal Rumble is underrated, in my opinion. What did you think about it? I like the 2004 Royal Rumble. If you're talking about the Rumble match itself, it's one of my favorites. The entire card wasn't completely great. Hardcore Holly and Brock Lesnar, it's like, whatever. But Shawn and Triple H, any match they did was fantastic. And, of course, the Rumble match with Benoit winning. Eddie, thoughts on the Heidenreich and Michael Cole backstage segment? It was weird, and I don't know exactly what it accomplished. Other than Heidenreich looking like he was raping Michael Cole on SmackDown. I never understood that. I need to watch that SmackDown back just to see how Michael Cole reacted when he came back to the announce desk, if he even did. I don't know. I thought the entire Heidenreich character was weird in general. Because all he did was read him a poem. I don't know. Alright, guys. Curtis Butler, TGS is broke. I've sponsored before. Well, there you go. Heinrich should have been the WWE champion. Oh, man. I mean, he was tag champion. Isn't that good enough? I still wonder who sent that letter to Booker T in a segment they never really talked about. Alright, guys. So, if you're sending a super chat, I'll continue the stream for a little bit more for a wheel spin. But I think I'm going to end the stream here. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, on this very YouTube channel. I defend the Wrestling Trivia Challenge Championship against good old JM Jeff Meacham in a 60-minute Wrestling Trivia Iron Man match. It's going to be tough. We are going to keep going until there is a winner. So if it goes into overtime, we'll finally determine who is the greatest wrestling trivia mind of all time, whether it's me or whether it's Jeff. And it's going to be a hell of a match. Hopefully I have your guys' support for that. And also, WrestleMania week's coming up. So you have Thursday night with the Iron Man match. You have Friday for TakeOver, Saturday for the Hall of Fame, Sunday for WrestleMania, Monday for Raw, Tuesday for SmackDown. It's going to be packed. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. Thank you guys for the super chats that were sent in. Hopefully the next time I do one of these streams, which will probably be after WrestleMania. I don't think I'm going to do one WrestleMania, like the rest of WrestleMania week, because you guys have enough to watch. Next one may be on my channel. I'm not sure. But follow me on Twitter at PA Sensation to find out when I'm doing my next stream, to find out anything else that I'm doing. And I'll see you guys Thursday. Hopefully my title reign continues. But until then, if you don't like what I say, your life is the pits. Deal with it. And that's my catchphrase, and I'm done. Good night.